Hi, I'm Bruce Holland Rogers, and I made an earlier video and wrote an earlier description of this project. I showed it to some of my Master of Fine Arts students, and they said that it was far too staid. And so I'm going to let my freak flag fly a little bit, and I'm also going to make a display of raw ego here, but all in the service of making a point, and I hope helping you to get behind the project that I'm pitching here. First thing that I want you to think of is an early mammal living in the time of the dinosaurs. A little itty-bitty mouse-sized thing. I've seen some of the fossils. They look like they have too many teeth for the size of their jaws, and they're running, darting everywhere very fast, constantly in danger of being squished. And I want you to understand that the short story, or flash fiction, is a bit like those early mammals. That it's fast, and maybe it has a lot of teeth, and it's always in danger of being squashed by the giant publishing dinosaurs. I would say that also I am a bit like one of those early mammals. So what we have in common, the short story and the writer of the short stories, is that we have tiny, fast-beating, but passionate hearts. Probably you've never heard of me. A few of you will be fans of my work, and you will have come to this page for that reason, but a great many of you will never have heard my byline before, and that's sort of the fate of a short story writer. But I am good, and that's where the raw display of ego comes in here, when I'm going to show you some of the physical artifacts that come from being a good writer. My mother wouldn't really like seeing me bragging like this, but these are two of my Nebula Awards for science fiction and fantasy. And I have also been a two-time winner of the World Fantasy Award. I have won the Bram Stoker Award. You see that the door has fallen off of the trophy here. The door always falls off. I've been the recipient of some less well-known awards. For instance, the Johnny Cat Literary Award for a mystery story. You might be thinking everything seems awfully genre. Well, I also have won literary awards such as the Pushcart Prize, which comes not with a trophy but with inclusion in the anthology. And these days my favorites, I have twice won the Micro Award, which is an international juried award for the best story written in English and published anywhere in the world. It has to be a story of under 1,000 words. Okay. So, maybe that display of ego is sufficient to convince you that at least some people think that I'm a pretty good writer. Why haven't you then heard of me? Well, there are some marketing difficulties that I encounter as a writer of short stories in particular. And you may say, well, I'm aware of flash fiction as a market category, and I don't see that it has huge market difficulties. I mean, I know that there was the flash fiction anthology and the sudden fiction anthology series like Sudden Fiction Continued and Flash Fiction Forward, all of those anthologies from W.W. Norton, and from Persia Press, Sudden Flash Youth, which was flash fiction stories intended for young adult readers. And I know about those anthologies. I'm in all of those anthologies. It's a different kettle of fish when it comes to creating a commercial collection by a single writer. Short story collections have a hard time in the mass market. There are some exceptions, and in short stories, Barry Yorgrau is an example. I love Yorgrau's work. I would note that he has, after his first book, always made his collections a compendium of stories that are thematically related in some way. And you might say, well, if your work doesn't do that, then why don't you just write a collection of thematically related stories? And I would say, listen, if I want to bend to the preferences of the marketplace, then I might as well just go off and figure out what the market wants first and then write. And that is a perfectly reasonable approach to having a commercial career, but for artistic reasons, I prefer to write just the stories I want to write. And that means that I end up with a collection like this one of nearly 50 quirky stories, each one quirky in its own way. And that is a very difficult thing to market. But let me also say that what I have here is a bowl of cherries. That is not what I expect life to be. I'm not asking you to support this project because I have convinced you that I'm a writer who has won some awards and I am deserving somehow. I want you to support this project because you research my stories, you look up some of them online, maybe you visit short.com and visit some of the stories there, maybe you Google me, and after reading some of my work you conclude, hey, this is really good stuff, and there is something special about the short form. That's why I'd like to invite you to get on board with this project. Unlike the larger commercial publishers, I'm not looking to connect with the masses. I'm just looking to connect with a few fellow mammals. And if that's you, you'll know who you are. Thanks for your time.